Hello, I am Norman Rafferty. I'm doing a guest game mastering session this week of the Urban Jungle game. So it's going to be the same characters, only slightly different. So first we're going to go through, I'll be the game host. I'm joined today by Teth. What are you playing today?
I am Dante, the original famous slot magician.
You have a motto?
My motto is I always have a plan.
And do you actually have any current goals at the moment?
Take care of the entity once and for all.
Stupid entity. Next on our hit parade is Griffin, who's playing this week. Griffin, tell us about your character.
All right, I'm playing a character that we've already met, Martin Riddle. He is a cat, knight, and agitator, and his motto is that I'll inspire the city with my deeds.
And do you actually have any? You get a gimme goal, but I think you've already met your gimme goal, haven't you?
I'm going to say Martin probably has, so I'm perfectly fine just going in without goals, and I'll just go with the main adventure here.
All right, sounds good. Also, joining us today, Hugo. Tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Zamek. I'm a cat person. My motto is the sun will always come out tomorrow. I try to be optimistic as possible. And I guess currently I have two goals. My long-term goal is to figure out why I keep getting bad luck. And I guess the other one, like Dante, is to stop the entity Bunok from, doing his vile machinations.
Right. And you're not just a cat person, you're a cat drifter shaman. Is that not correct?
That's right. I am a cat drifter shaman.
So you have a mystic connotation. Where do you hail from again?
I come from a small village in South America that was attacked and destroyed. And then I spent many years in bondage until my boss freed me one time. And I've been traveling as his magician apprentice ever since.
So what are the spirits you commune with?
A lot of them just tend to be spirits that just come and find me since I have the touch and I can sense the beyond.
They are ancestral spirits.
My original ones were my ancestor spirits, but over time I've kind of bumped into others.
You're someone who reaches. All right.
Yes.
And last but not least, we have EHH. Tell us about your character.
Hi. His name is James Green. He's a deer knight debunker. His motto is there's gotta be a logical explanation. And his goals are to prove a supernatural event is either true or false and make a name for himself as a debunker.
Okay. And now, are you a freelance debunker or do you actually have a job?
Freelance right now, but I'm hoping to make it a job.
Okay, so you actually haven't been. So right now, if you cover any stories, it's all on your own dime. So
I think you're just out of college, aren't you?
Actually,
I'm working on my own apartment right now.
Okay.
Hold on a second here.
I think right now you actually don't have any evidence or anything like that. Go ahead, Hugo.
Aren't we part of this society? Like,
The Curious Investigators Club.
Yeah. If we uncover something, can't we submit evidence
Correct.
to the club and
Emmett has made it clear that you can submit it and she'll send it off for you and give you the money that they send.
Right. If you publish it in the Clubhouse newsletter, she'll submit it to a variety of papers, which means it will get notarized because is Emmett a notary?
Yes, and a librarian. And
there we go. It will be officially recorded for posterity. Does that make you feel better?
Yeah, that's why I joined in the first place.
You'll make the investigators that come after our mysterious disappearance happy that they can find some clues. Sorry, I'm a little cynical. Okay, so it means that basically, if you investigate anything, you're a freelance investigator that goes anywhere to look for stuff. When we last left our heroes, we had an encounter with the mysterious dark forces that threatened to tear Tricoga apart with a mysterious gang. So based on that, we've all decided that we're going to leave town.
Sound decision by any rational being.
I absolutely am in favor of a road trip.
Yeah.
So Right. So, because speaking of the Curious Society, so James, you keep your ear out for this sort of thing, and you read some of the articles in the newspaper. But I'm sorry I don't have a handout prepared for this, but the interesting handout, interesting bit of information that you saw, among other things, UFO sighting isn't a big thing yet. So there is a newspaper report about how the disaster at northern mining town shuts down mine, raises ire of workers. Where there are conflicting descriptions that that's apparent. The article that you read, which in the Herald Examiner, bastion of integrity, says that apparently a monster known by the locals sometimes as Bigfoot or Sasquatch is reported to have attacked locals and shut down this mine. The article is only a paragraph long and says that the mine was shut down and that workers are trembling in fear. The sensationalist tone of the article, is like ridiculous and poorly researched. But it's a one paragraph article, and Cobbot's tour is only about a 2 days away travel by rail. It's north of Tricoga, in what you would consider the Michigan's Upper Peninsula. So it wouldn't be that hard to get there and check this out. And the fact that some of the report says random people torn apart is not dissimilar from, say, Dante's story of people getting kidnapped or whatever. And the fact that you might want to get out of town to cool off for a little bit. This sounds like an interesting story to you.
Yes, it does.
So I'd like you to go ahead and make your goal, solve the mystery of Cobbot's tour. And how do I get back to I'm the wrong window.
Could you give me the destination name so I can copy it?
Yep, here it is in the chat. Yeah, and the cat went away, so we're good. You have a good reason to go up north, so I guess we should hit some of the other people. Martin, Cobbot's tour is having a workers dispute, and it's got a horrible monster. I think that's two good reasons for you to tag along, isn't it?
Well, Emmett will sure be glad if I brought back any information on this Bigfoot thing. Honestly, it just sounds like someone saw a gorilla running around naked, but that's just me. But you know what? That's still no good, and this workers' dispute is really important, so I'm going to head out there.
Okay. So that brings us to Dante and Zamek. Let's see. Aren't you two? Are you still doing theater, or have you guys like shut down for?
No.
I mean, I wanted to say that I was in the theater, kind of like trying to come up with an act, since I'm starting to feel the pressure from my
now
boss.
finally, sure.
No, I've attempted several times, but something always gets in the way, and then I have to leave.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there in the prep room trying to come up with like a stick or something, and so like for a moment I'm like trying to imitate Dante's voice.
Zamek, pack up the truck. We've got a job.
And so I want to say that in frustration, I do my little ceremony to appease my ancestor spirits, and I ask them for guidance for how to come up with something to entertain the crowd.
You can do that. So you want to attempt to commune with the spirits. You actually have. Are you going to use spiritualism to talk to ghosts, or are you going to use the specific ritual that you have, which uses academics?
I will use the specific ritual that I have. Bear with me one moment. I will paste it on here.
Each cult comes with a specific ritual. Well, not that yours is a cult. Each petitionable entity has a specific ritual that only works to contact that one entity. Each ritual is different. We've never actually specified what yours is, but I don't think we've gone through a lot of...
No, we haven't gone through.
All right. Well, it depends on what sort of South American traditions you want to go into. Casting a ritual requires you to roll mind, will, and academics, and it also requires you to have a power die. You can use personal power or you can petition power.
All right, I do have this. I have this ritual, first circle. I still don't understand what first circle, second circle, and third
First
circle
circle
means.
in the ritual chart, first circle means you have to score at least 1 success to cast it. If it was a third circle, you need 3 successes. If it was a 30th circle, you need 30 successes.
Awesome. So that's the one I want to use. That's the name of the ritual that I got
Right.
from Griff.
Usually contacting a petitional entity is pretty easy.
Okay.
But you must, so you need to put up your mind, your will, and your academics dice, and then you must put up a power die. Now, I believe you're a petitioner, so you would put up your spirits of your ancestors die.
Which is a D12.
Which is currently hovering at a D12.
So I'm going to roll this thing right now. According to that, I got two successes.
So I'm going to assume that you enter an alter state, and also your petition, your power die did not roll a 1. If your power die rolls 1, then it goes down.
I lose. It goes down and rolls a 3. So awesome.
Right. So okay, so I guess you enter. How do you petition? Do you enter a meditative state, or?
Yeah, remembering the techniques of my old shaman from my village, which is now flooding back to me now with all this new supernatural things that are happening. I'm now starting to remember things that my old shaman used to try to teach me before everything went to hell, and so I learned.
You'll have a disembodied experience, like where you you can feel yourself hovering above the body, above the city.
Yeah.
But then the landscape will change. And it's like a landscape you've never seen before. There's rocks and trees and mountains, unlike any you've ever seen. You're traveling at a speed you can't quite believe. And then also in the ritual, you'll find yourself descending. You fall rapidly towards the earth, but instead of actually hitting the earth, you fall into a hole. You then fall deep, deep, deep into darkness. An unfathomable pit that is deeper than you could possibly conceive. And then you hover, you don't feel your body. It feels like your extremities have gone numb, like you've crashed into like an icy pond, which you've never actually done. So I don't know why I'm telling you that. And then your limbs, feel numb. And then in the darkness, 2 glowing spheres that may or may not be eyes look at you. And you come out of your ritual with a start, covered in sweat, which isn't pretty when you're furry.
Well, I'm a cat person. I imagine I would be panting heavily with my tongue sticking out.
Yep. And then the phone rings, and it's James asking if you want to come with him on this weird adventure. Coincidence.
And I go, Cobbot tour? What is that?
It's a mining town. Apparently there's a Bigfoot there, which is weird since they're usually in the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to go investigate.
Oh, a Sasquatch? Man, me and Dante have been on like 3 of those, man. It's always some dude in a gorilla suit.
And that's what I'm trying to prove.
But then all of a sudden when you say the word mine, I snap back to the vision I just saw, and I'm just like, yeah, don't worry. I'll being a boss will be there.
Okay. See you later. Hung on.
So I guess Zamek goes to bring up the news to Dante that he wants to go up north. Dante, do you also want to go?
Oh, is the previous idea that I have a job up there not on the table anymore?
Well, it's the middle of a remote mining town. Yes, they you did find a scrap that says that there is a hotel that is looking to entertain a magician and will pay. But there aren't a lot of details about it. It doesn't say the size of the venue.
I mean,
it says it's
already better than what I had before. I was proposing someone's birthday party, so clearly this is still a step up.
This is still a step up.
He got hotel money. Are you going to turn that down?
Yeah. This must be the Catskills you hear so much about. No to anyone commenting, we are not going into the Catskills.
Awesome. And so I'm like, wow, that's really coincidental because I just got a call from James, and apparently there's been a Sasquatch sighting up there, and they want somebody to go check it out.
Now, like in this time period, the 1920s, you get Sasquatch and Bigfoot like myths are haven't hit the mainstream like they did in the 1970s. So,
but I would imagine that me and him traveling in the quote unquote mystic occult circles, we're probably one of the few people who know what a Sasquatch Bigfoot is.
Do we travel
so.
in those circles?
Do we? I mean, you're looking
Dominic
for
apparently does, and that's just fine.
The funny part is, while Dante affects a kind of Romanian or Transylvanian accent, I believe it's all fake because they're actually from the Midwest, right?
Right, but he's traveled to like South America, Europe. I imagine for some.
I have not traveled Europe. My backstory was that I was kidnapped by gypsies growing up under this family. My backstory is very European. That I got traveled around by the gypsies that kidnapped me as a child. I'm literally from Tricoga. I'm just a guy.
So Zamek, you're not. It's true that he says he's traveled all around the world, but turns out that's all just a big elaborate lie.
Apparently, I don't even know who I'm working for anymore. And I go, I'm sure you had your reasons for lying to me all these years, boss. And how
I didn't tell you any of that was a lie.
Yeah, I got that, Oliver.
So you decide to make preparations. Cobbot's tour is, like I said, about 2 days north of here by train. Longer if you take your own automobile. And I think only Dante and Zamek have their own automobile.
They got plenty of trucks.
We do have to bring our own stage props with.
Yeah, so you're going to travel by truck. Okay, that works. Do James or Martin want to hitch a ride on the truck? I believe your cab only seats 3.
Hey, Zamek, James said that you guys were gonna head up too, and you have a truck. I don't exactly have train money most months, most years, ever.
Plus, also, they have
a ride if I traveled with you.
Sure thing, as long as you help us unload the cargo. I could always use.
I can handle that. That's my day job anyway.
Yeah. Plus, also, I was going to point out that trains have police stops.
Yeah, they're gonna stop me for this picket sign. That's for sure.
Well, no, well, you actually have
matters. Yeah, I know.
You don't actually have any outstanding warrants, do you?
Martin doesn't yet.
Okay, well then
he actually got off scot-free like the rest of you.
But when you travel by train, it leaves a record. So
yeah.
Okay. So that's 3. If you guys want to take James as well, like I said, it's 4 people. One of you is actually going to have to ride. Not in the cab because it only seats about 3 people.
Well, Bard will go ahead and offer just right in the back.
Okay, so you now you're going from the big city to rural nowhere. What preparations do you want to take before you leave Tricoga?
I'll do research on the area.
James decides to go and check out the library. Before this will be our downtime segment. So before James, James, I'd like you to make a roll of mind and academics, and I believe you have research. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, that will give you a bonus D12. You spend the day going ahead and prepping that. What about our other 3 adventurers? What would you guys like to do?
Okay. Martin will try calling ahead to anyone who happens to be a miner out there that might be affiliated with the communist.
Oh, hello, I'm calling random numbers to see if you're a communist today.
Well, he's a part of like the locals in Tricoga, so if anyone there happens to know by name someone, he could at least then go seek that out when he gets there.
So you're going to go ahead and asking any locals if they know about any stuff there. That would definitely be mind and questioning. Do you have the gift of gossip?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
He's more of a loud person than a questioning person.
Do you still have your local area knowledge of Tricoga?
Yes, I do.
That is a bonus D12 to talk to the locals, especially because you'll know which locals not to talk to.
All right, double checking that I absolutely don't have questioning. That is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my
You're an
mind and the d12.
you're an agitator. You don't have to ask questions. You have answers.
Yes, that's right. Hey, one success.
Okay, and then Dante and Zamek, you do have to prepare. Do you want to go get fancier props or do something else?
I
Well,
am
I assume
going
we have
to talk with Sal, who we're leaving behind, to have him watch over the theater, make sure it keeps locked down and nobody enters it. But I'm also going to talk to Martin about having Sal look after Timothy while he's also out of town.
Who is Timothy his little brother? I thought his little brother had a different name.
Timothy Riddle.
Yeah, Timothy is my little brother. It's okay. Emmett's agreed to keep him entertained at the library for a while.
Yeah, kids love libraries.
Well,
He does.
I'll have him stop by though and check in just to be sure.
Hey, look, I found the Panoptic manuscripts. Keen. So that's
What's
not
a
going to take up all of your
Necronomicon?
time. So yeah, you arrange that. Anything else that you two might want to arrange?
Just a quick little housekeeping thing for me. I do currently sit on like 11 experience points, and I want to increase my combat skill. So, how many points does that cost, and what does that get me?
Okay, so well, there's two combat skills. There's fighting and shooting.
Wait. Before you spend that on skills, what is the thing that you keep trying to do that we keep mentioning that you need the gift to do? Because this might be the moment to do that.
If you buy the gift of boxing, boxing would cost you 10 points.
Okay. So
That would
being
give you
the-
more fighting options, and
If
you
you buy
do
the-
still have 2 fighting skill points, if I remember.
Yeah, if you
Fighting.
buy boxing, boxing doesn't raise your numbers, but it gives you the ability to do jabs, which are a fast counterattack in combat, and an uppercut, which is a fast punch. Right now, you
Okay.
have brawling, which is the ability to grab people and throw them around like they're ragdolls, which is great and does a lot of damage. But boxing is fast and quick.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so then what I will do is I also still have insider with Eastwood locals and local knowledge of Eastwood. I'm going to cash in. I want to cash in local knowledge of Eastwood, which I think gives me 5 points.
That
Correct.
does.
All right, so that boosts me up to 16. I will do as you guys say, and I will get points in boxing.
Boxing is a gift, so you write that down in
Right,
the
a
gift
gift.
section of your character sheet that you have boxing.
Gotcha.
This unlocks the boxing jab and uppercut.
And leaves you 6 experience left. Skill points are 4 experience apiece.
Right.
Or rather, marks. Marks are 4 experience apiece.
Right. You can
All
buy another mark for 4 points. Marks in fighting are 4 points each.
Right, and that would boost me to D8, right?
There you go. Yeah, if that's your third mark, you have a D8. So you have a D8 in fighting, and you now have the ability to use boxing. You have the ability to use boxing, which
Congratulations, you are now incredibly competent.
well, you were competent before. Boxing methods are described on page 87.
All right,
So
awesome. Thank you, sir. Just wanted to do that. I want to say my recent experience brawling and fighting and has awoken things inside of me. And
You fought for your life enough.
Yeah, I dropped the chat notes in there. Jab allows you to counter at close with body speed and fighting, and uppercut allows you to punch with body speed and fighting. It does a lot of damage, and it's really good.
Awesome. I'm going to put this in my notes. Thank you, sir. And basically, I'm going to look at an atlas, try to find the best course to this place. Make sure we pack away any potential weapons we need. Do we still have the shotgun, Dante?
No. I don't know why you guys keep thinking the shotgun is around. The shotgun had 2 shells in it. I fired it. The shotgun was then useless to me. I got rid of it. We have a gun in a safe, and the gun is not coming with us. The gun is staying in the safe, locked away.
Out of character comment, Sonic, you do still have the bomb, don't you?
Yes, I do, but I kind of think bringing a bomb to a mine is kind of like the quote-unquote bad idea of the century. So I'm just
Bad idea. Bad idea.
My mind tickles to the bomb that I currently have buried in the nice old woman's house. And then I go, nah, that's not a good idea.
So that would actually be a point I think Barton probably might want to bring up. Like, if we do go up there, do any one of us have a gun?
Despite
you don't,
the
James.
actual answer being yes, Dante will say no.
Right. So
I would suggest that we could possibly contact Claudia and see if she's willing, because I assume she has a gun, to lend us a gun.
Why do we need a gun?
We could be potentially going up against a monstrous creature.
A bunch of people are just scared. In a one paragraph news article, we don't need to march up north armed to the nines.
Exactly.
I
Am I there?
First of all, I don't think one gun is going to arm us to the nines. B, it could be a guy in a gorilla suit. It tends to be. But it could be a crazy guy in a gorilla suit, and then we might have to defend ourselves.
Okay. I'm going to intercede here as narrator. James, you're spending all day in the library, heads down. So I'll explain what you're doing in a bit. Hugo and Dante. So Dante is saying, I don't want you to bring guns, and Zamek wants to bring guns. Zamek, do you have any guns to bring?
No, but I would be feeling a lot more comfortable if there was one around. But
Do you
at this
want
point,
to go on a gun shopping operation since you don't actually have any guns?
actually, I kind of give up the point because I'm just like, I don't know how to shoot the gun even if I had it. So if no one who knows how to shoot wants to bring a gun, then I guess we're bringing a gun. So
Dante,
that's,
you're Zamek's boss. What do you tell Zamek to do before the trip?
Zamek, load up the truck.
The two of you will spend time. You're going to load up the props you've already got. All right. I would usually the skill of working with your hands in and setting stuff up and packing a vehicle would be craft because you're working with items, and transport because you're working with a truck. And this is a lot of physical labor, so it would be body. So I'd like you, both of you, to make a roll of body, craft, and transport. Dante, if you're the boss, you could just tell him what to do and assist. Rolling mind, craft, and transport, but only assisting.
I did agree to assist them as being able to take a ride with them.
Since you don't have anything better to do, you can either choose to roll body, craft, and transport and do the work, or you can be an assistant.
I'm going to go ahead and be the assistant here. I do have just the body instead of transport and craft. I'm kind of a terrible worker.
Right.
I could attempt to take leadership of this and help
so
them.
So both
back
of you are going to boss
efficiently.
Zamek around. Dante, I believe you're a team player. Is that correct?
No.
Oh, well, Dante, you're the worst boss ever.
Well, I mean, I also only had one die, and I rolled a 1, so...
Right.
I rolled 2 dice, and I got 1 success.
Well, botching is optional in Urban Jungle.
I mean,
and I
leadership...
you're just not going to run with it today. That's fine.
Does leadership count?
Oh, you have the gift of leadership? Yeah. I would say leadership lets you roll an extra d12 when you're bossing when your boss be around to load a truck.
The both of us are just giving Zamek all the instructions.
Well, you also decide which props you want to take and which ones you don't. The most important thing is that because all three of you rolled really well, because you even give Zamek an assist die, but he actually knows how to load a truck. It's almost like he knows how to skip town.
I am a drifter after all.
You don't unbalance the truck or anything like that. And actually, Martin, you were busy gossiping with the locals instead of doing this. I'm only giving people one downtime activity. So,
okay.
But Dante and Zamek get the truck loaded. James, you go off to do research about Cobbot's tour. Cobbot's tour is a tiny. It's not technically a city or a town. It hasn't actually been incorporated yet. The only legal operations it is currently part of Renault, which is Renault County, which is where it is in Upper Michigan. And it's actually owned by, I hope you're sitting down, the Cobbot's Tor Mining Trust.
Whoa.
Uh-huh.
The mine has been up there for, you rolled 3 successes, so I'm going to give you the deep dive on Cobbot's Tor. So Cobbot's Tor was, it was mining both iron and gold until about 80 years ago, which would be about like the 1850s, 1860s, where it was supposed to be where the mine actually shut down. Mine declared bankruptcy for a couple of years because apparently their iron operation went bust just in time for them to lose big contracts with gun companies as well as the Civil War. But then the mine reopened as a gypsum mine a couple of years later, where that is an increasingly used material these days in construction materials. And that's currently what it exports until today. There was a dispute around the 1900s where a lot of the workers there were complaining about poor treatment and why are you paying us in scrip instead of real money? And what's all this kind of nonsense? And so there was some terrible strike-breaking operations around the turn of the century. Today, Cobbot Store Mining Trust employs, like a lot of people, it employs the Flint Heart Detective Agency. A name that will put the fear into folks like Martin Riddle, because Flint Heart is notorious for being strikebreakers, spies, and angry muscle for many of our, 1920s plutocrats.
The fiends, and he shakes his fist.
But that doesn't change the fact that also the place has, so it does have the typical disputes between management and miners. Today, the mine appears to be running just fine for 1920s standards, because once again, it's 1923, unlimited prosperity. Just put all your faith in the stock market, everyone. As for rumors, Cobbot's Tour has had rumors of being pretty darn spooky. For a while in the 1880s, somebody, who was his name? Is that Tully? Yeah, you actually find in the deep archives on the library that there was a guy by the name of Rufus Tully who put out an ad in the newspaper for the Haunted Caves Tour. It's mostly it would be a forgettable ad, but it ran for a while, and it had a Cobbot's Tour address. There's no newspaper articles on it. It just seemed to be, one of those attractions. So you just file this away as something that might actually be interesting.
Well, I think pretty interesting. I better get going.
Now I gave you the two things. Is there another question you want to ask me about, or do you want to just get moving?
Question. A question about.
I don't know. Are you just ready to go?
I think any questions I have will be asking all the miners.
Okay, so you guys go ahead and pile in the truck, and then start heading north.
I do have the one question for my downtime. Did I get any sort of name to contact when we get up north?
Oh, right. You rolled one success. I apologize.
Might not give me something, that's okay, but just curious to know.
Yeah, well, I mentioned there's a lot of disputes going on, and yes, in fact, well, first of all, the locals will tell you two things when you say it's like, first of all, it's like Cobbot's Tour. Oh, that place is like locked down tight. They hire the Flint Hearts, which must cost them a lot of money. Those are some of the most notorious strike breakers. I'd say those are like the old school strike breakers in the 1920s, but this is the 1920s, so they're strike breakers. The kind of people that make someone disappear. I had a cousin who went up there looking for work and never came back. But more importantly, I guess you'll go to your anarchist headquarters. Forget, did they have? I guess they had communists around the 1920s.
Yeah, socialist anarchists. Actually,
The
Historical
Trakoka
footnote.
setting in particular has a global communist organization.
And
Then
also
you
an
go
interesting historical footnote: the first act of domestic terrorism happened during this era. Socialist anarchists actually bombed Wall Street in protest of rampant capitalism.
Propaganda of the deed.
They have a tendency to call them either socialists or anarchists. Anarchist is usually the big term.
Mm-hmm.
But communism,
Scary.
I was just following like Walt Disney going nuts about communism, but I think it doesn't happen till the 30s. And he has his own strike dispute. But there is a card-carrying member of the Trakoka Communist Society who lives up in Cobbot's store. His name is Manny Albright. You can recognize him because he is a least weasel, or brown and white weasel.
All right. Well, at least now I have someone to talk to, and he should be able to fill me in on what's going on.
Yeah, he actually has a job up there, and he's actually been trying to organize them. And we of course offer him solidarity because we know that because this just can't last. I mean, this whole thing about Wall Street and all this stuff. It's the center cannot hold. Everything's going to collapse. We know this is going to happen.
Absolutely, but we need to give more than solidarity. I'm going there to put my boots on the ground.
He may be there, under an assumed name because they might necessarily want the strikebreakers to find him.
Of course. All right, so I got the name. I know what his general appearance is going to be. I am ready then.
All right, so you guys get together, pile into the truck, and drive.
And I bore them with the history of the place.
Yep. Hey, you guys know this? You will drive from Chicago up to the northern Michigan Peninsula before the highway system. This is an exciting time period where it's a lot of gravel roads. And you know how modern gas tanks are sealed and compartmentalized so they can't get a single hole in them and have all their gas drain out?
Guessing that doesn't exist yet.
Not invented yet! So, or holding your gas tank or your radiator is a significant problem. So, driving the way there, who is the main driver? I'm assuming that is Zamek.
Yep, I have the transport skill.
Okay, Zamek, I would like you, because this is going to be endurance driving, I would like you to make a roll of body, mind, and transport. I don't think you actually bought trucking, which would give you a bonus D12 to this.
Body, mind, right? And transport, which I have as a type. And no, I don't have any extra marks in that.
Okay.
Ooh, that's terrible.
Well, it's one success. So, yeah, which means you drive one success. So you make average commuter time. You guys drive the truck. Every now and then you hit bumps and then stop. Fortunately, your load is very well balanced. The people who are riding with you, I would like, the guys who are riding with you, I would like the guys in the front seat, that's Hugo and Zamek and Dante, will roll body, speed, and transport. The poor who's in the Martin, actually you're hiding in the
That's
road,
me,
right?
Yep.
I want you to roll only body and transport.
Oh boy, I'm only rolling body then.
So am I on the train or on the truck?
Did you want to ride up with them in the truck, or do you want to take the train separately? They invited you to keep the truck with them.
I would love to hear the background of this mining town. I am all ears as we're driving up there.
Okay,
Also,
okay. It'd be a good chance to talk to Martin.
Right.
I've never met him before.
Have a question.
Yes.
Could I apply climbing to this roll? To grab onto a surface to avoid a fall? The text of climbing.
No, this is because you're in a car that moves a lot.
Okay. Well, that's why I was saying if I can grab onto a surface.
This isn't to see if you fall out. This is to see if you get motion sickness or have any other untoward events. You guys are fine.
Okay.
So what's the roll again?
It's body, speed, and transport. This is just a roll to see if any of you guys get motion. You guys are fine. I mean, long distance trip. This is probably the longest ride by truck any of you have taken. So riding all the way you guys are fine. Okay, nothing weird happens to you guys. So you'll ride up there for about 3 days. Every now and then you have to stop and stay at a roadside motel, which are all over the place since the car has been invented. We welcome truckers. And since none of you are planning to have some sort of untoward encounter, about 3 days later, you will get to Cobbot's Tor, which looks a lot like the photograph I have provided. Since it is a mining town, there are indeed trucking roads, but the road to the mine itself is not obvious from view. Instead, you can go to the it's not a one-stop sign town. It's not that big because most of the locals here live in the small town. You can see they have a general store. They have the largest building. The largest building in town would be the church. The second largest building would be, what did I call this? The Bowster? Would be you're looking for a hotel known as the Bowster Inn. You will find a place that has a sign out front that says it's the Bowster, whatever that is.
Bowster. So where are you stopping then? I'm guessing you guys want to unload over at the hotel, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's get set up for the night. Me and the boss has got to do our little magic show. I guess James, if you want to start asking questions, you can do that. You and Martin, I guess, can mingle and figure out what's going on around here.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing that.
It's a little difficult parking near the hotel, but you guys decide to unload, it's a little disappointing because you guys are probably used to Tricoga level hotels, which are usually multi-story affairs and have foyers and atriums and smoking and cigar lounges. I guess I would terribly describe this structure as a barn, because when you open the front wooden doors to go inside, it pretty much looks like a barn. There is a very large open area, something that might be a stage. This looks a lot more like what you would see in a Western than it would be in a modern type hotel.
Yeah, but Zamek and I have traveled up and down Central America and South America. We've seen bad
and
places.
Possibly, and more than likely, the Southeast and the Southwest.
Well, yeah, you have to go through the Southeast.
You may have been in
dinkier
places.
Yeah.
You've played in dinkier venues, I would have to agree.
I won Zamek's freedom on a hand of cards in in a place worse than this.
I assume you start looking for the management.
Yep, I guess that's my job. I go find the manager while Dante starts doing his little, grandstanding, attract the crowd type of thing.
Well, there's no concierge desk. There's just a bar. And so when you go to the bar and ask the short porcupine who's behind the bar, she will blink and say, "Well, I suppose there's proprietress. It must be me. I'm Mrs. Tumble. And who are you fellows?"
Hello, Mrs. Tumble. My name is Zamek, and I work for my boss here, Dante the Original. And
the original what?
Magician. I heard there was a act, a show.
All the other magicians just copies of you, huh?
Well, sometimes when you're the best, there's no other substitute.
The best magician?
Absolutely.
I
think you'll be quite amazed by our show tonight. I just want to figure out what the lay of the land is, where we put our stuff.
You're talking a little preemptively here, Sonny. I haven't agreed to any sort of terms or anything. So, she says, squinting at Dante through her thick-rimmed glasses, you're a magician. Can you do a trick?
I wave my boss over.
Of course. What do you wish to see? Do you have a favorite act?
Well, if you're the best magician, then you should be able to show me the best trick I've ever seen.
Of course. Okay. Sorry. What is around me?
Well, it is a bar, but you guys have arrived in. You guys made pretty good time. You've arrived in late afternoon, so there's only 2 or 3 people here. There's some people playing poker on the corner. There's one guy passed out on his table. There's sawdust on the floor, and there are numerous bottles around. The place is lit electrically.
Okay. You said that bottles on the counter or anything like that? What's
Yes.
Okay. Here, take this bottle. Hold it in your hand. I will, guide her hands so that her hands are wrapped around the bottle.
Hey, be gentle. This is I've held many bottles before.
Oh, of course. I will not break anything I am not prepared to pay for. Here, and I pull out a $1 bill, which I recognize
spender.
as a lot of money. Yes, for the time.
Like $20.
And I will put it in the bottle. And I will guide her hand to put her hand over top of the bottle itself.
Her expression goes from is more curious now than it was disapproving. Like, this is all right. She puts her hand on top of it.
Okay, now hold your hand here. Make sure that I could not reach into the bottle. You see the $1 in there?
Her spines all stand on end.
Okay. Now, I want you to throw the bottle across the room.
What?
Throw the bottle.
Quick, make a roll of body, will, and presence to get me all caught up in your act. You may add performance if you have that. You want me to make a mess in my own bar.
And performance is a D12. 2 successes.
That's 2 successes. Despite her every instinct, she throws the bottle across the room. I guess it just shatters.
I don't see why it wouldn't. All right. Walk with me for a moment.
She looks at you.
You see? Where is the $1 at?
Well, it's over there in a pile of glass.
No, I said walk with me. We're here now. This is where we're at.
She walks with you. Where do you take her?
To the smashed bottle.
Okay.
As far as she threw it.
She threw it against a post, so she takes a couple steps out from behind the bar, eyeing sideways to make sure none of you guys are doing any weird tricks or whatever, and then looks at the pile of glass.
Do you see the $1?
No. What'd you do with the $1, I'm asking?
Oh, sleight of hand.
All right, make a roll.
What do you want me to roll?
Usually it's speed, deceit, and that's it.
Wouldn't that be a little bit of mind in there as well?
But I'll give you a bonus D8 because you were very distracting.
You also totally have a D12 for sleight of hand, don't you?
No, sleight of hand just lets you do it.
Okay.
Sleight of hand actually lets you steal things from people in the middle of combat. Otherwise, all the players would be asking about it and then make deceit OP.
2 successes. I have a favorite use of deceit already, and I'm not going to get rid of it.
All right. So, do you produce the $1 to show it to her?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I imagine at some point I would have folded it in a way to make it recognizable. But the idea being that you don't see it on the floor. This was...
Traditionally you write on it.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think of that beforehand.
That's okay. You roll 2 successes, I'll assume that you do. Says, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Zonovic, please find a broom for the woman.
Oh, here you go.
And I obediently grab.
Not for me. You guys can clean this up.
No. I grab the broom from her and sweep up the mess and clean it up.
Well, I guess it's a pretty impressive trick, and I guess people here will be impressed by that. Is that your truck outside?
You know, it behooves me not to walk on glass, and then I'm going to try and levitate.
Oh. Make a roll!
Wow, okay. Doesn't that require 5?
No.
I think
levitation. Sorry, yeah, levitation does. I mean, even if I fail this, I'll have some other word I can use.
Yeah, you guys haven't bought any of the stuff like ostentatious casting or anything like that yet.
I want to use shove to push it towards the broom.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would love to have levitated, but shove is equally good.
Do you have 3 or 2?
I have 2 successes. Shove is 1.
So who are you shoving?
The glass.
What are you shoving? All right, so you just shove the glass and just moves on its own accord. Unfortunately, you're shoving it, not actually telekinesing it, so it just goes everywhere.
Well, hold on. PK parlor trick. Would that do the trick for me?
PK parlor trick? You could do a PK parlor trick where when he puts the dustpan down, all of the glass just goes into the pan before he
Yes. That's a skit. I literally just put the pan down and before we even scoop it, I still have like the broom.
Yeah, same effect, different word.
This will spook her. Like, blink. Well, I'm not sure what I saw, but sure, we can go ahead and hire you for an act. We can pay you. Let's see what we can offer you: room, board, 3 bottles of Malort, and $50 tonight.
Very well.
Excellent. I'll go ahead and sign you in.
And where can we go set up for our act tonight?
Well, there's the stage. As long as you don't disrupt the jug band, they'll be just fine.
We require a private room to set up and prepare.
Well, you get one room. As private as you want.
Okay, I guess so.
We're not like you big city folks around here. We're common, decent, hardworking folks. We've got dirt under our claws.
Well, as a sloth, my claws are quite long.
Yeah, they really are. It's kind of creepy.
Yes, it's very hard to get dirt under them without cracking some sort of cuticle.
I'm sort of impressed how you steal dollar bills from bottles. But...
Well, you see, the whole trick is that I don't. It's probably a long, wide-eyed stare in her direction.
She adjusts her glasses, and I'm a bartender. I'm used to getting wide-eyed stares. Yeah, that's your truck. If you just go ahead and move it to the dirt lot, so it's not blocking. Because if you're blocking when the night bus comes down, you're going to hear all about it.
No problem. I'll make sure to move the truck after we move the truck someplace more convenient once I unload all our stuff.
Martin's probably been in the corner crossing his arms and halfway rolling his eyes most of the time, probably whispering something about magnets. But when he hears night bus, he's gonna ask night bus? I thought everyone lived in this town.
Everyone's at work. They come back on the bus.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that far of a walk.
Well, it's not that far, but it's very vertical.
Ah, yeah, that sounds like a pain.
Why are you here anyway? Are you part of the act?
I'm just moving boxes, ma'am.
Yeah, he's my personal stage.
Wow, you came with this huge entourage. $50 split 4 ways isn't going to go very far.
Let's just say we have our own private trade.
Yes, it's magicians. It's not a private trade. It was advertised.
Okay, then.
2 ways. Split 2 ways.
Well, until the bus comes in and until after the jug band you can be a warm-up for the jug band act. That's going to be a hard act to follow.
I'll
lean into and everything.
Lean into something. It's going to be one way if you don't have an act by tonight.
Get another assistant. I love when you guys can wield actual supernatural power, but you spend more time arguing with your stupid ass. All right, so
I
you are now
hate
in
using
town.
my powers.
You have like 5 or 6 hours before the show. Zamek and Dante scurry off to set up the show. What is James doing?
Asking around town folks about the supernatural, Bigfoot and all that.
You start wandering around like a reporter and start asking questions around town. That's going to be a role of mind and questioning. I believe you don't have gossip as you're more of a book type person, right?
Right.
I will give you a DA bonus because you did a lot of 3 success research before you came to this town. So you wander off to go ask some questions while they're doing their act. There's not a lot of people around, but there are people who are in town taking care of things and that sort of thing. Martin, what are you doing while they're setting up the show?
Hey, James, you should be wandering around alone. I'll go with you. But I'm going to let him ask his silly questions, and I'm going to actually keep my eyes peeled and see if I notice anyone who might look close to my contact. Odds are they might be at the mine, but maybe they're in town.
Okay. So are you going to assist him or just hang out?
I'm going to hang out. I'm just going to keep my eyes peeled.
I want an eyes peeled roll, which is your roll of mind and observation.
I got that. 1 success.
Okay, so James, you start at, there's somebody who runs the post office, and there is a constable on duty. And someone who runs the general store. So there are people, it's just not a lot of them. Most people will, everyone pretty much tells you the same thing. Everybody works up there at the mine. If you're in Cobbot, almost everyone has a job, and Cobbot Store is the lifeblood of this economy. I hope it lasts forever and ever and never falls apart. Let's see. The boar who runs the post office is old enough to remember when they had the trouble. He was only a kid when they had the first trouble when the mine shut down back in the 1860s. So actually, you have to be 80 for that. No, he remembers his dad talking about it. But everything has been pretty straightforward. But right now, a lot of people will tell you that people there are nervous about the safety up at the mine. They're one of the locals. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking for the name of the town drunk. Oh, yeah. Rags. We all knew that Rags, had a tendency to get a little tipple, which isn't easy these days during the era of Prohibition. Good thing we all just drink Malort, which is technically medicine. But yeah, a couple days ago, he must have, either he's working some unapproved overtime, which isn't being isn't kind of copacetic with the rest of the boys, or just got drunk or whatever. But he, I guess, fell in some mining machinery, got himself horribly mangled.
That's terrible. He's still alive after that?
No. He's passed on.
Terrible to think.
He died of natural causes because it would have been unnatural if he had lived through that. They have his body, and but the company, we don't have, like a lot of forensics experts in this game. We just, the company basically takes care of the policing around here. They got it taken to the infirmary up there in Cobbot Store, since we don't, we just have country doctors here. We don't actually have a hospital. But some of the workers have been, some of the miners have been making a lot of noise about how it's unsafe to work at the mine. If they had safety equipment up there, that wouldn't have happened to poor old Rags. Me, I'm pretty convinced, he wasn't that vigilant in the first place. But, you can, make of it what you thought. You probably know more up at the mine, but I don't, I don't spend a lot of time gossiping with those kind of folks. I just do the post.
When can I talk to the miners?
Well, they'll be in tonight. Or you can just go up to the mine yourself. It's not far. It's just, it's just vertical.